January 14th, 1907, page 159. The postman brought a reply from Anushka this morning, and in it were the wise words of a truly experienced friend. Her compassion, but more her directness, entered me like a steel rod. It helped me enormously to read the fact that she made me face. Mr. Soper will never return my affection. To understand that no matter what I do, he will always see me as the office girl, an assistant, even a scientifically minded person, but never as a woman, helped a great deal. Once I accepted the fact, and I cried a bucket of tears, I was able to move on to her 3 rules of behavior for forbidden love. Keep quiet, keep cool, pretend. I think of her with these rules, the model of her manners in the presence of her Randall, and I remain composed and contained as a corpse. Mr. Soper is wrapped up in our business with the cook. Especially after hearing from Mr. Biggs, it seems our superintendent has discussed the case with a number of people, including his colleagues from the 4th floor, where a woman doctor turns out runs the department center for mothers and infants. This was the first I'd ever heard of such things. The woman doctor and the center? The thought of a woman doctor floods me with wonder. I picture a thick, ugly creature who's indelicately pushed her way through a man's field. Questions buzz around me like bees. How did she become a doctor? I didn't think they were allowed men in medical school. I didn't think they allowed women in medical school. What is it like to be surrounded by male doctors? As I've learned, some males in the sciences see women as objects of procreation rather than of thinking beings. Would I have a chance to talk with her? The biggest question for me is, why has Mr. Biggs chosen to discuss the case with her? I know very well that the problems of her mothers and infants is a far cry from the work of epidemiology. How would she know anything about investigating a disease? How would she be so useful? Mr. Biggs and several department heads gathered for a meeting, and it was decided that Dr. Baker, the woman doctor, would be assigned to our case, and once she had read through the records and made her plan with Mr. Soper, she would accompany us along with a police guard to the West Side Manor where Mary was presently working. When I heard about the police guard, I felt terrible that the case had reached such a low point. I wished I could talk to the cook alone and beg her to reason not to respond to us in such a violent way. They're only trying to do good, really. It's awful, but she can't comprehend that. I tried to picture her life, the strangers that keep approaching her, the trail of fever that she leaves behind, and how trapped she must feel. There is no one with whom she can discuss what is happening to her. I can only imagine how she'll respond to this woman doctor, to the term of police, and to us again on her doorstep.